let's talk about AI. We were all promised this incredible 10x productivity boost, right? A future where we're just shipping amazing products at light speed. But for a lot of people, the reality on the ground feels, well, a little different. Today, we're digging into a fantastic article by Nilay Parikh that really gets to the heart of this growing tension, the AI productivity paradox.
Okay, to get a feel for this, let's start with a story. The author talks about his friend, we'll call him Dave, who's an IT program manager. And Dave is pretty much ready to ban AI tools from his company altogether. And this quote, wow, it just perfectly nails the frustration that's bubbling up under all the hype. It's not this promised land of efficiency. It's a whole new kind of chaos.
And that really brings us to the core question of this whole thing. When the code is brittle, when you're missing deadlines, who's actually to blame here? Is the technology itself just not ready for prime time? Or are we, the people using it, getting it completely wrong? To figure that out, we have to look at the two very different camps that are forming in the software world right now. It's basically a blame game, with two competing stories about what's really going on. And you know what? Both sides have some pretty good points. First up, let's talk about argument A. This is the side that says the AI is failing us, the developers. And these points, they're like a greatest hits of complaints from senior engineers. They say AI just hits a complexity ceiling. It's great for simple stuff, but falls apart on anything real. It encourages what they call vibe coding, where you just keep generating code until it kind of looks right. This piles on technical debt, opens up security holes, and maybe worst of all, junior devs aren't learning the fundamentals. Oh, and my favorite, ghost packages. The AI will literally just make up software libraries that do not exist. It's wild.
But then, of course, there's the other side of the coin. This camp says, nope, the tool is fine. The user is the problem. They point to the senior consultant fallacy. We treat the AI like a seasoned expert and then get mad when it doesn't have the judgment it was never designed to have. We're guilty of lazy prompting, just throwing vague requests at it and then calling the tool stupid when it fails. And maybe the most critical point, the review gap. We just rubber stamp AI-generated code without actually reading it. And let's be honest, that's not an AI failure. That is just straight-up professional negligence.
So here it is in a nutshell. This is the core conflict. On one side, you have people saying the problem is the tech itself. It hallucinates, it loses context. On the other side, people are saying the problem is us. We're lazy, we misuse the tool, we don't hold ourselves accountable. It's technology versus the user. But what if both sides are actually missing the real point?
And this is where the author makes a really brilliant pivot. He argues that the real breakdown point, the real reason this isn't working for so many people, it has nothing to do with code. It has everything to do with a fundamental misunderstanding of what communication even means when you're talking to a machine. See, as humans, we communicate using soft skills. We use ambiguous language, right? We rely on shared context, on nuance, on empathy to kind of fill in the gaps. We expect the other person to just get it. But here's the thing, an AI doesn't need your empathy. It needs precision.
What an AI actually needs is the complete opposite. It needs technical specification. This is all about using deterministic, unambiguous language. We're talking schemas, data flows, logical constraints, things that remove any and all possibility of being misinterpreted.
And this line, this just perfectly sums up the huge mental shift that has to happen. So many of us are treating that prompt box like it's a friendly chat window, hoping the AI will just catch our vibe. But the developers who are actually crushing it, they're the ones who treat it like a compiler, a system that demands rigid, precise, structured input to give you a reliable output. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, the author doesn't just leave us hanging. He lays out a whole new playbook for engineers, a way to move past that chaotic vibe coding and get to something he calls controlled velocity.
Now, controlled velocity isn't just about being fast. It's about maintaining a deliberate, understood, and solid path to your final solution. See, the big danger with AI isn't that the final product is wrong. It's that we give up control of the journey, and we end up with a fragile solution that nobody on the team actually understands. This whole concept is about keeping your hands firmly on the wheel.
So how do we do that? The author uses this great cricket metaphor, calling it the batsman approach. You don't just go out there and swing wildly at the very first ball. No, a good batsman probes. They hit a few test shots, they get a feel for the conditions, and understand the bowler's tricks before they commit to a big swing. It's the same with AI. It's about intelligent, cautious interaction.
Now let's get practical. The author's lab, ErgoSum, builds these things they call jigs. Now, if you've ever done woodworking, a jig is a custom tool you build to guide a saw so you get a perfect, repeatable cut every single time. It's the same idea in software.
These jigs are tools that enforce that precision we were talking about. Things like prompt engines to ensure quality, context loaders that only feed the AI-relevant code, and even libraries of trigger words that force the AI to think more like a senior expert.
And on top of those custom tools, you need rules. Think of these as the non-negotiable guardrails for your team. You establish a human-only zone for, say, the most critical 30% of your code. You implement peer reviews where any AI-generated code is treated as guilty until proven innocent. And this one is so important. The time you save with AI shouldn't just be about shipping faster. It has to be reinvested into deeper thinking and problem solving.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a lot of work, so why even bother? Because as the author argues, we are entering a brand new economic reality. And in this new world, mastering these tools isn't just a nice-to-have advantage, it is a matter of survival.
Let's talk about the payoff, because it's absolutely massive. When you get these jigs and guardrails set up correctly, you can safely automate that 70% of high-volume, low-risk work. You know, all the boilerplate code, UI components, that kind of stuff. This frees up your best engineers to focus on that critical 30%. And the result? We're talking staggering productivity gains on total throughput, like 300 to 400%.
And this is what enables what the author calls the sniper economy. And this is a really unique threat. Imagine a tiny core team, a sniper team, that uses AI to just decimate their cost of goods sold. They don't go after a big company's huge enterprise clients. No, that's not the play. Instead, they pick off the price-sensitive mid-tier customers, one by one, destabilizing the big incumbent from the bottom up. So this brings us to a really crucial point. The choice is no longer, should we use AI? That debate is over. Adopting AI badly? Sure, it carries operational risk. You might get fragile code or security leaks. But rejecting it completely? That carries existential risk. In a world full of these sniper competitors, just standing still is the most dangerous thing you can possibly do.
So, after laying out all the arguments, the communication breakdown, the new playbook, and the massive stakes, the author finally brings it all home to deliver his final verdict on that question we asked at the very beginning.
The verdict is clear. Look, the technology is not perfect, but the primary failure point is us. We are failing to adapt our mindsets, our skills, and our processes to properly use this incredibly powerful but very, very literal new tool. The responsibility for making this work lies with the engineer, not the machine.
And he leaves us with this final, honestly kind of chilling question. It reframes this whole debate. It's not a technical problem anymore. It's a competitive one. In this new world, being just good enough isn't going to cut it, because your competition isn't just the big company down the street. It's anyone, anywhere in the world with a laptop and the discipline to master these tools. A pretty sobering thought to end on.